Right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Miss Humbert here, and today we're going to be doing Unit 2 Learning Target 10. So it's going to be really similar to Learning Target 9, except this time we're going to be writing equations that tend to make elimination a little bit easier instead of using substitution. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at number 1. So it says here that Dante spent $11.25 on 3 new and 4 old comic books. Samantha spent $15.75 on 10 old and 3 new ones. So now we need to write a system of equations that represents the amount of money each person can spend on comic books. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to write it out. So Dante bought 3 new comic books at price X, and then he bought 4 old comic books at price Y, and that was equal to $11.25. Okay? Then he's noticed that they switch the order on us. So then Samantha also bought 3 new ones at price X, but then she bought 10 old ones at price Y, and that was equal to $15.75. So now one thing that I want you guys to notice is that we don't have opposites. We do have the same number on our x's, but they're not opposite. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it opposite by multiplying the top equation by a -1. So let's write out what will happen when we do that. We're going to get negative 3x minus 4y is equal to negative 11.25. Then the second equation we're going to keep the same, like so. And then, once we're done, we're going to go ahead and add down the columns. Well, negative 3x plus 3x, we designed it so that that would cancel out. That's a good thing. Negative 4y plus 10y, well, that's going to give us 6y. And then negative 11.25 plus 15.75, that's going to give us 4.5. Now, decimals are okay here because we're talking about money. So we're going to divide both sides by 6. And then we're going to get y is equal to 75 cents. Okay, now that's going to be for old comics. So it's 75 cents for old comics. So now we need to figure out what the cost is for new comics. So I'm going to go ahead and I can plug that y in for either one of those. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it into the bottom one. So I'm going to get 3x plus 10. Now I'm going to take out the y and put 75 cents in instead, is equal to 15.75. So then I get that 3x plus 7.5 is equal to 15.75. So now I'm going to subtract 7.5 from both sides. And I get that 3x is equal to 15.75 minus 7.5, which is 8.25. Divide both sides by 3, and I end up getting that x is equal to 275. So that's for new comics. New comics are going to cost $275. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at number 2. So for number 2, it says that the sum of 2 numbers is 12. So that means when we add 2 numbers together, we get 12. The difference, now remember that difference means subtraction. So the difference of those 2 numbers is equal to a -4. So now let's go ahead and add down the columns because I notice I have same number opposite signs on my y. So I can just go ahead and add down the columns. Well, x plus x is 2x. My y's cancel. And 12 minus 4 is going to give me 8. Divide both sides by 2. And here I get that x is equal to 4. So really, I can plug that x into either equation. Well, this equation up here has a positive 1y, so that makes it a little bit easier. So 4 plus y is equal to 12. So then I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, and I get that y is equal to 8. So those are my 2 numbers. X is equal to 4, and y is equal to 8. Taking a look at this one, we're going shopping for your teeth, okay? At a store, toothbrush costs X dollars and bars of soap cost Y dollars. One customer bought 2 toothbrushes and 1 bar of soap for $11. Another customer bought 6 toothbrushes and 5 bars of soap for $38. So that does not include taxes, which is, again, is something they're just kind of throwing in case you have questions, okay? So then how much does each toothbrush and each bar of soap cost? Well, for every X, so at price X toothbrush, we bought 2 of them, and we bought 1 bar of soap at price Y, and that was $11. We bought 6 toothbrushes at price X, and 5 bars of soap at price Y, and that was $38. So in order to use elimination, we need to do same number, opposite signs. So I see that I have a positive 1y here. So then I ask myself, okay, what can I multiply 5y by? So what's the opposite of 5y? Sorry. So the opposite of 5y is a negative 5y. What do I need to multiply 1y by in order to get a negative 5? Well, I need to multiply it by a negative 5. So I'm going to take that equation and multiply it by a negative 5. So then I get negative 10x minus 5y is equal to a negative 55. Then I'm going to get 6x plus 5y is equal to 38. So now I'm going to go ahead and add down the columns. Negative 10x plus 6x is negative 4x. Cross those off. And then negative 55 plus 38 is a negative 17. Divide both sides by a negative 4. Good, those negatives will cancel, so we get a positive answer because we're talking about money here. So then I get 425, and that's for a toothbrush. Okay, so now I need to figure out what my bar of soap is going to cost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this number, and I'm going to plug it in for X there or there. So I'm going to decide to plug it into the top one. So 2 times 425 plus y is equal to 11. Okay, so 2 times 4.5, well, that's going to give us 8.5. Plus y is equal to 11. So then I'm going to subtract 8.5 from both sides, and I end up getting y is equal to 250. Okay, so that's 250 for a bar of soap. Okay, so that is your final answer for number 3. So next, let's take a look at number 4. So we need to set up the system. Okay, so the sum of 2 numbers is means equal. So the sum of 2 numbers, say x and y, is the same as 4 times the smaller number. So now I've chosen that x is going to represent the smaller number. So whenever something says 4 times, that means you're multiplying it times 4. If twice the larger is, so if twice the larger, so 2 times the larger is decreased by, so that means going down, the smaller, the result is 30. So in that case, the is didn't mean equal, and that's because it was followed by decreased by. So let's set this up in a way that elimination is going to make sense. So first thing I need to do is I need to bring on this one, this 4x over to the other side. So if x plus y is equal to 4x, so I'm going to go ahead and subtract 4x from both sides, and I get negative 3x plus y is equal to 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this and put this in its place. And I'm going to put the y first simply because that's the way my orders. Remember, when you're setting up elimination, you want to set it up so that your same letters are in the same column. So now I notice that y has a positive 1 on top. So the opposite of a positive 2 is a negative 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this top one by a negative 2. So I get negative 2y plus 6x is equal to 0. Then down here I get 2y minus x is equal to 30. Well, my y's are going to cancel out. And then I'm going to get 6x minus x, which is 5x, and 30 plus 0 is just 30. So then I'm going to divide both sides by 5, and I get that x is equal to 6. So that's one of my 2 numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it into this to get my other one. So 2y minus 6 is equal to 30. So I plugged in the 6 in place of that x. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. And then I get 2y is equal to 36, divide both sides by 2, and I get that y is equal to 18 for my second number. Next, let's take a look at number 15. So for number 15, it says a shipment of TVs, some weighing 30 pounds each and the others weighing 50 pounds each. Okay, I have a total weight of 880 pounds, and there's 20 TVs altogether. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let X represent my 30-pound TVs and Y represent my 50-pound TVs. So together, they're going to be equal to 20 total TVs. So for every X 30-pound TV I have, it weighs, well, 30 pounds. For every Y 50-pound TV, it weighs, well, 50 pounds. And that's equal to 880. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this top equation up here and I'm going to multiply it by a negative 30 because that's going to make the x's cancel out. So let's rewrite what that would look like. So I would have a negative 30x minus 30y is equal to a negative 600. So then I have 30x plus 50y is equal to 880. So then we're going to cross out our x's, and then we're not inserting a photo, and then we're going to take negative 30y plus 50y, which is 20y, and that's going to be equal to negative 600 plus 880, which is going to give us 280. Then we're going to divide both sides by 20, and we get that y is equal to 14. And so since that's y, that's going to be the 50-pound TVs. Okay, so that's one of our answers. So now we need to plug it back in. So I'm going to plug it back in for y up there. So x plus 14 needs to equal 20. Subtract 14 from both sides, and I get that x is equal to 6. And then I get 30-pound TVs. So those are my two answers for number 5. So taking a look at number 6. So for number 6, it's going to be another one of those setting it up just kind of based on the math wording. So if you still have it, Unit 1, Notes 3, we went over a huge chart on, or Notes 2, I'm sorry, of what these words mean. So twice a number minus a second number is negative 1. Twice the second number added to 3 times the first number is 9. So let's just write this out better in standard form. So then I'm going to have 2x minus y is equal to negative 1. And then I'm just going to flip the order around here so that I can have 3x plus 2y is equal to 9. Just so I can look at them in the same spot, okay? That went really well for me. So then what I see is that I have a negative y and then a 2y on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this top and I'm going to multiply it by 2. So then I have 4x minus 2y is equal to a negative 2. And then 3x plus 2y is equal to 9. So if the whole setting elimination stuff up is still confusing, definitely let me know because I know this stuff can take a long time to learn. So 4x plus 3x is 7x. Those cancel out. 9 minus 2 is 7. So then we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 7, and I get here that x is equal to 1. So that's one of my numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug that in for x up here. So then I get 3 times 1 plus 2y is equal to 9. 3 plus 2y is equal to 9. Subtract 3 from both sides, and I get that 2y is equal to 6. Divide both sides by 2, and I get that y is equal to 3. So that's my second number, and that concludes your note video for today. Thanks for listening.